Hi, welcome to Going Green. I'm Kathleen Harvey, your host, and today we're going to work on making a container garden. So let's go out to the garden and get started. We're going to get started with our herb garden. Herb gardens go all the way back to colonial times, before the existence of refrigeration. So what the colonials typically did was planted their herbs very close to the kitchen door, which was also referred to as a kitchen garden. But not everybody has a plot available for them to plant plants right next to their kitchen, or perhaps not a sunny spot. So what we're going to do is to show you how you can plant your own container herb garden that you can keep very accessible to your kitchen and that you can use for fresh herbs all summer long. Now, first what you need to start with are your supplies. A nice pair of gloves to cover your hands so they don't get all filthy. You need a good heavy-duty trowel, and you'll need a pot to plant in. Next thing you need is different types of soil. You need a soil that's good for drainage and to keep the air into and around the roots. But you also need something that's good for water retention. So what I typically do is I start by putting some pebbles or some styrofoam packing peanuts, if you have anything left over from something you might have received online. As long as they're styrofoam, put them in the bottom, just about an inch or so, just enough to cover. That'll let air into the roots, which is an extremely important component for plants. Next, I have two different types of soil here. This one is a very open porous mixture. It's a type of soilless potting soil. This is Commercial Pro Mix, but it's also components that you will find in your potting soil that you will find at the big box stores. This is great for house plants and for aeration, but you don't want to just use this because it dries out so rapidly in the hot, dry days of July and August. You're going to be watering your plants 3 or 4 times a day to keep them from wilting. So you want to add something to this that's going to add moisture retention for you. Now, what I use is a homemade compost that I have actually composted in my own backyard. This is a combination of leaves I picked up that dropped in the fall, mixed with my vegetable waste. And that is things like banana peels, watermelon rinds, carrot peels, potato peels. Anything that's vegetable waste can get mixed in with this. You turn it constantly, and then by spring you have this wonderful dark brown to black looking soil. This is very good for water retention, and it also has some vital nutrients and minerals that the plants will need to help them grow through the summer. So, if you mix these two at about half each, fill your pot about half to 2/3 of the way with your mixture, and then you're going to start planting. So, there's 2 things to consider. One is container herb garden design. Like any container garden, you have 3 basic design components of a container garden. What they call thrillers, fillers, and spillers. And thrillers will be a tall focal point that you put in the middle. Fillers are the things that go around the middle. And then spillers are things that go on the outside rim that might actually fall or cascade over the edge with time. So they're your basic design components. The next thing to consider is what herbs do you actually like and enjoy cooking with? So I enjoy parsley, sage, rosemary, thyme, oregano, chives. So what I've done is put together an herb container garden that uses the 2 different soils that we talked about with my stones at the bottom, and also while using good gardening technique. And what we wind up with is a container garden here that you'll see my tall focal point is this tall plant in the middle. This is rosemary, and this smells wonderful. Rosemary is good with red bliss potatoes if you can get them from your local farmer's market. It's also great for making the gravy for your poultry. So the Thanksgiving, this will grow right up until hard frost. You can harvest some of this and keep it and use it for your Thanksgiving turkey gravy. We also have in here some parsley, and I have a couple different kinds. This is a loose leaf Italian parsley, and this is a tighter or curly leafed parsley. They just have two different textures. They taste very similar, so it's just for some added interest. I've added some oregano here in between. You can put it on your pizza and use it in some other Italian dishes. Here I have some mint. That's great for iced tea all summer long. It's also great for your digestive system. So should you get an upset stomach, mints are known to help your digestion. And over here, I have some catnip, also in the mint family. And I happen to have furry ones at home that are catnip junkies. So I'm growing this for them. And the one good thing about growing anything in the mint family in containers is that mints can tend to run amok in your garden. They're very easy to grow, and if they're very happy, they can take over a garden plot. So it's actually best to grow these in a container so that they don't wind up becoming garden thugs. You wouldn't want that. And here the small leafed one we have is called thyme. This is also good in a poultry seasoning and good for many in your fishes as well. So one of the things to keep in mind is that these plants are small right now, and as you can see, there's space in here. So what you want to do is leave enough space so that these plants can grow and spread over the summer, because what they're going to do is fill in as the summer goes on. You don't want to pack it so tight now that they have nowhere to go as the summer goes on. So I've only got a handful of plants in here for this rather large 18-inch pot that I'm growing. And you can use any size pot, be it plastic or ceramic. Just keep in mind that wherever you're going to put it, if it's going to be a large pot, I would plant it as close to its final resting place as you can, because it's going to be heavy by the time you get done planting it, and especially once you water it. So, once you've got this all planted, then you put it in a sunny spot where it will get at least 6 hours of sun every day, hopefully near either a front door or a back door, but close to your kitchen, so that as you go out and cook something, you can just run outside with a pair of scissors, snip off tips of your herbs, take them inside, wash them off, and prepare to cook with them. Just be sure to put some food on these periodically. There's many commercially available fertilizers. I don't want to endorse any one particular brand, but one of the organic compounds that you can use, since herbs are grown for their foliage and not for flowers, what they most need is nitrogen. And you can use dried blood meal, which is a good organic compound that's great as a nitrogen source. That'll help produce lots of lush green foliage here. Just make sure that your plants get at least an inch of water every week. In the springtime, as we move into the heat of summer, once it goes up around 90 degrees every day, make sure you water it once or twice a day, because this thing is going to get hot, your roots are going to get hot, and you don't want it to dry out and wilt on you, because you want to have enough herbs to keep you through the entire summer. Alright, so when we've done planting, you want to make sure that you water the plants in. You see I have a watering can with a nice gentle watering spout on it. You get it all around the outer edge to settle your plants in. And if you don't have a fancy watering can, any plastic milk jug or iced tea jug will do. So don't fret about that. Just make sure that if you don't have too gentle of a watering spout like this one is, that you just want to keep it around the outer edges then so that you don't trample your leaves down. And that's it. It's all that's to it. Now, wasn't that easy? Don't you want to give it a try? Thank you for joining us. I'm Kathleen Harvey. We're Going Green. I hope you join us next time.